All right, news coming in from Pakistan. Celebrations panning out in Pakistan as well as protests that break out outside Nawaz Sharif's residence in London. PMLN and PTI supporters both face off outside Avonfield House in London. Remember, we're looking at Nawaz Sharif, who's Shahbaz Sharif's brother, who's currently living in exile in London over allegations of large-scale corruption. Nawaz Sharif's house in London, we're seeing protests that have erupted, large-scale protests with supporters of the PMLN as well as supporters of PTI facing off. In fact, on one hand, you have celebrations that are taking place outside Nawaz Sharif's residence, and on the other, we're seeing PTI supporters gathering outside Nawaz Sharif's residence in London and condemning this takeover by the united opposition and protesting right outside Nawaz Sharif's residence. Loveena Tandon joining us live from London, bringing us all those visuals and details. Loveena, this was expected. Nawaz Sharif, if anything, should be a happy man today as his brother, Shahbaz Sharif, is likely the next Prime Minister of Pakistan. While we see large-scale celebrations outside his home, those are the visuals that we see there, celebrations that are brewing outside Nawaz Sharif's house. Also, PTI supporters now protesting at the same time there. How's the London police really handling the situation?
Huge number of police personnel here, and even a vigilant helicopter is up there, keeping an eye on the entire situation, because it developed in about moments. In moments, the celebration turned into clashes, and that turned into confrontation, and then the police stepped in, and a huge number of police personnel standing in between the Nawaz Sharif supporters and the Imran Khan crowd. They are quite and one crowd, Nawaz Sharif's crowd, is saying loser, loser now to the other side. They raised victory hands, to which shoes and eggs were also thrown. So we were right in the middle of I was right in the middle of when the clashes started, because I was shooting the celebrations, and then immediately we saw this huge crowd coming from one hand, and then the clashes really started, and the police stepped in. So on the other side, Imran, when they raised the victory hand, the Imran Khan side is raising shoes and even throwing eggs. So we were asked to move away from where in the middle where we were stuck. So as of now, police is here in heavy presence. They are keeping the situation controlled, because there is a worry that it could escalate, because both the crowds have not stopped screaming at each other in the past hour.
You know, we see that Nawaz Sharif is currently in self-imposed exile. He's currently in London. He's been there for a while now because he has no entry in Pakistan. He can't stand for election in Pakistan. There's a case that is being pursued, several corruption cases being pursued against Nawaz Sharif in Pakistan. And now with his brother coming to the helm and is likely the next Prime Minister of Pakistan, clearly is a massive victory indirectly for Nawaz Sharif. And that's why we see a huge crowd there gathering in celebration of this, while the PTI, of course, condemning this move entirely. Loveena, thank you very much for joining us with those details.